welcome back. Tycoon Li Ka-shing has spoken out about the proposed Occupy Central movement, saying it would hurt the city. Li also took a stance against property speculation. Evelina Leung reports.
Li Ka-shing today spoke about rising construction costs. The chairman of Cheung Kong Holdings and Hutchison Whampoa said they are higher than the cost of land for many developments. He believes that construction costs will continue to rise as the industry faces a lack of manpower. Because of this, Li called on property speculators to stay out of the market. Those who want to buy a home to live and can afford 50% of the price could do so because they won't lose out much in the long run. Li Ka-shing meanwhile said he is disappointed that Hong Kong has been replaced by Beijing as the venue for this year's APEC meeting. He said what the city has to focus on right now is to increase its competitiveness. The billionaire said in 1997, Hong Kong and Singapore's GDP were similar, but the SAR's GDP nowadays has fallen behind. On governance, he said those who have the ability should speak out and help Hong Kong, rather than allow those incapable people to run the city. But Li said he wasn't targeting the government and hopes there will be harmony in the SAR. Li also waded into several controversies. He said should the Occupy Central movement go ahead, it will negatively affect Hong Kong. Also, recent protests against mainlanders are wrong because the protesters and those targeted are all Chinese. Li also spoke out against the use of violence following the attack on former Ming Pao chief editor Kevin Lau. He said Hong Kong would suffer if there is no press freedom. Evelina Leung, TVB News.
Next, more fallout from John Tsang's budget speech on Wednesday. Financial Secretary was today further questioned about a move to pour resources into building infrastructure. And all the while, Tsang insisted that there wasn't much he could do with the budget to boost the city's low birth rate.
Dire warnings continued about future budget deficits due to an aging population and a low birth rate. So why wasn't there more in John Tsang's speech to encourage people to give birth? Lawmakers have already accused the Financial Secretary of failing to boost childcare services in his budget on Wednesday. And during a phone-in radio show today, the issue of tax deductions over dependent children was raised.
And we do have that, and I've been increasing that for the last 2-3 years in the past, not this year, but in the past. And we've been doing that, but I do not believe that, with a bigger deduction, people would rush to have more children.
Well, with the small flats that people have and the cost of raising children and the high rents that they're paying, I mean, it's certainly a reason. Some people are deferring having babies because of the cost.
There are different economic situations, and I think that there are a lot more considerations for people nowadays to decide how they should proceed with their family planning.
Tsang again defended his decision to put more emphasis on infrastructure than any other issue. The Future Fund, for example, plans to save money for building projects during difficult times.
When we get into financial difficulty and we have to prioritize our spending, and if infrastructure were not in the priority list, we can make use of that.
Well, then wouldn't it make more sense to save up for healthcare, or save up for education, or save something that we might actually need?
These are what we call recurrent items. These are things that happen every year. You don't do it as a one-off. And what we have there is just one sum of money. And so using a capital sum for a recurring expenditure is not something that is sustainable. So what we need to sustain something that's recurring, we need to look at the continuous income. And growing the economy, have different sources of income would be much better alternatives to.
The fate of Birmingham City Football Club owner Carson Yeung still hangs in the balance. A verdict in his high-profile money laundering case has been adjourned until Monday. Yeung is accused of laundering $721 million through 5 bank accounts between 2001 and 2007. When Yeung defended himself in court earlier, he explained his wealth came from his hairstyling business in the 1990s. The verdict is more than 100 pages long, and a district court judge only managed to read out half today.
The government has unveiled plans to build a new bridge to help relieve traffic in Cheung Kwan O. Rachel Leung reports.
peak hour traffic at Chengquanou Tunnel, something drivers say they would try to avoid. The tunnel has a traffic flow of more than 80,000 trips on average every day. This Chengquanou resident said it's always jammed when she takes the bus in the morning. This resident who owns a home in the area said he has to go to work extra early. Some 380,000 people live in Chengquanou right now. The number is expected to surge to 450,000 by 2021. Apart from the MTR, the tunnel is the most direct link between Chengquanou and the rest of the city. A proposed Lambton Tunnel will connect with the Eastern Harbour Tunnel as well as a new link to the Kai Tak development area. The government said today it also wants to build a 1.8-kilometer-long bridge to connect the area near Tu King Lane with the southeast part of Chengquanou near Wanpo Road. It can be used by drivers as well as pedestrians and cyclists. Given the traffic flow in Chengquanou now, the government said the Lambton Tunnel will end up heavily jammed without this bridge to redirect traffic. In the Legislative Council Transport panel today, lawmakers were mostly supportive of the plan and encouraged the government to work quickly on it. If the Electoral Finance Committee approves the funding for it, the government plans to begin the detailed designs for the connecting roads and bridge this August. If all goes to plan, the work should be done within 2016. Rachel Lang, TVB News.
All right, Chris, over to you for sports.
Thanks a lot. And the UFC returns to Macau tomorrow for its second foray into China. In part 2 of our exclusive interview with UFC President Dana White, he tells our Jameson Wong why the market is so important to him.
After a highly successful China debut in Macau at the end of 2012, the UFC hopes to build on the momentum with a full fight card Saturday at Cotai Arena. That from the president of the UFC, Dana White, in an exclusive interview this week from Las Vegas.
The response was great. We were very happy with it. We've been happy with everything we've done there. You know, when you go into a new market like this, especially a market like China, you know, I look at China as the place where martial arts started. That's where it all began.
And although Dana White will again be a no-show for the second event held in Macau, he says the China market remains an important one for the UFC.
What we really want to do is get ingrained there with mixed martial arts and get, you know, young people training in it, people looking to become professional athletes, professional fighters. Martial arts started there. Everybody who is in this sport, one way or another, is a Bruce Lee freak. You know, I'm a huge Bruce Lee freak. Most of the fighters are. It all points back to China.
The UFC believes mixed martial arts can be one of the top 3 sports in China within the next 10 years. So when can we expect the most powerful man in MMA to get an up-close look at the market's potential?
When are we going to see you out here? Soon. I will be there. No, seriously, I can't wait to get out there. I'm really excited about it. You know, I don't just want to go to Hong Kong. I want to go all over China. So when I go there, I'm going there when I have some time, and I'm going to cruise around the country.
A country he believes is a natural fit for what he's selling. Jameson Wong, TVB News.
Tottenham has advanced to the last 16 of the Europa League. Spurs defeated FC Dnipro of Ukraine 3-2 on aggregate after dropping the first leg 1-0. Emmanuel Adebayor scored twice in last night's 3-1 win at White Hart Lane. Spurs will play Portugal's Benfica in the next round.
And finally tonight, a 3-year-old girl in the U.S. state of Georgia has come to her father's rescue. She unlocked his mobile phone and called for emergency help. Meet the little heroine, Elisha Powers. Her father was in the family's backyard last week, knocking down a tree when he accidentally cut his arm near the wrist. He was bleeding and couldn't pick up the phone. Elisha unlocked it and dialed 911. Her dad told the police what happened as she held the phone. Doctors say his arm should fully heal in 6 to 8 months.
And press 9.
And that was the news for tonight.
Good night.
Good evening. morning, it was cloudy with mist patches today. At 5 p.m., an easterly airstream affecting the coastal areas of Guangdong was moderating gradually. And today's temperatures ranged from 17.4 to 19 degrees Celsius, and the current temperature is now standing at 18 degrees Celsius. A trace of rain has been recorded since midnight. So, Freddie, how's the weather tomorrow? We'll have sunny periods tomorrow with coastal fog and a few light rain patches in the morning and at night. Temperatures will range from 18 to 23 degrees. It'll be warm and humid on Sunday. Tomorrow morning's air quality health index will range from low to moderate, and the maximum UV index forecast for tomorrow will be about 8. And now to the latest global weather update. Showers in Shanghai and Taipei, cloudy in Xiamen. Cloudy in Guangzhou and Chengdu. Sunny in Beijing, showers in Tokyo. Bright in Bangkok and Manila. Bright in Kuala Lumpur, sunny in Singapore, rain in Jakarta. Sunny in Karachi, bright in Mumbai. Bright in Cairo and Nairobi. Showers in Brisbane, Melbourne, and Auckland. Sunny in Toronto and New York. Cloudy in Vancouver, showers in San Francisco, rain in Los Angeles. Bright in London, showers in Paris and Frankfurt, snow in Zurich. And that's the weather. Good night.